Today, we're going to be canning spaghetti sauce. One disclaimer that I have on this is it depends what you put in there for your time. So, in the one that I did up over there, which I'll show you in a second, I've got minced onion, minced green pepper, garlic, your tomato sauce, tomato paste, your seasonings, oregano, thyme, basil, that kind of thing in there. I don't have any meat in there. I don't have any mushrooms in there. That will take longer. So if you're doing that kind of a sauce, you really have to look at the guidelines on how long in the pressure canner. This is just one that's going to be a little bit different than a lot of them that I do because it's going to depend on what you put in there. Also, if you have any suggestions or questions on anything you would like to see canned, would like to know if you can can it, anything like that, shoot me a comment. I'd be more than happy to help. And if it's kind of a, you'd like to see me can something, even if I haven't before, if I have the ability to do it, I can definitely get a video on there, show you how it turns out. But back to what we're here to do today, which is spaghetti sauce. So, first of all, in prepping jars, we already got our sauce made. It's hot. We got water boiling in there. We got our lids going. So now we just want to get our jars prepped. Another reminder here, if you've followed me along, you know that I probably repeat myself a lot, but I'm doing this for people that might only be looking for canning spaghetti sauce or something specific that aren't actually following every video. So you're going to want to feel along the top of your jar like this, and make sure you don't have any chips or cracks or anything like that in there. That is going to, you're going to have a larger chance of it shattering or not sealing. If a jar shatters in your canner, it's all done because you don't know where those glass shards have went. They could be in all the other jars that might seal. So you just have to toss it all. So it's definitely just a quick little, 10-second step you can take to do that. Your jars should be warm because you're going to be putting hot sauce in them to a hot boiling canner. So there's a couple ways to do that. If you have a dishwasher, you can just run on a hot water cycle. You can just run hot water over them. Or you can just put the hot water in them and then dump them out. And that keeps it warm. You're going to want to sanitize all your jars before you do that. So I just got kind of a little, I just use this for sanitizing jars. Give that a real good scrub down and swish. Make sure your jars are clean before you do that. I'm going to have Mike join me on the other side here to go over just a couple things. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. So here's our tomato sauce. Or spaghetti sauce, spaghetti sauce. I use a roaster so that I can get a lot of it done in there. Doesn't quite burn or anything like that when you use a roaster compared to maybe on a top. You could just freeze this too. I like to can it. We're not known for a lot of freezer space around here. We have a tiny little freezer and sometimes I'll bring something home and I go to town like, oh, a treat. Let's get some frozen French fries or something, and then we have to cook them up because we just don't have room. So I'm definitely up for canning. Plus, that also helps in if you ever lose power or anything like that, it's not going to go to waste. So I kind of explain, like I said, I use a food processor. I just kind of chunk chopped green peppers and onions, and I used a food processor just to make them fine. And you got to make sure that this is at it's good and hot, it's simmering. I just took the lid off and turned this off. I'm sure you see the steam coming. So that's that. A couple things we're going to need. Our lids. We're going to need a funnel. We got our can lifter. This is going to be hot putting in and taking out. So you need one of these. We got lid lifter here. Get our lids out of our simmering water. We have a little spatula. I know that I did a previous video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, on doing chicken soup. And I said you didn't need this. And this, even though it seems like it's not going to have the air bubbles in it, it's kind of thick. I'm still going to want to go down there a little bit, make sure we don't have air bubbles. That's also going to improve your chances of it sealing and also the jar's not shattering. I've got my rings. I'm going to go ahead and get a jar and get started here. Now these jars are a little different than the ones I did before. They're round, so I might only be able to get 6 quarts in there. I'm going to try for 7. We are doing quarts today. So first things first, we're going to get that funnel in there. In the bottom of each one of these, I don't have any bay leaves in the sauce that have been simmering. We're going to place 1 bay leaf in the bottom of each jar and then go ahead and fill that up. As you see, it's kind of thick. It'll thicken up a little bit more. Oh, also to sweeten it, instead of using white sugar, I used a little bit of brown sugar. It takes a lot less of the brown sugar. It gives it a nice flavor. That's what I used in mine. We're going to just want to fill it up to this little bottom ring here. And I just have this towel down to catch my spills. So here's the first one. I'm just going to quick go down around the sides a little bit like that. And then down the middle once. Let's make a bigger mess than I have to. And then you're going to want to wipe down the rims of your jar. I know in a lot of other videos you're probably like, I don't see why, I don't see anything on there. You filled it with water. Well, you can definitely, this is when you're going to be able to tell that you have to wipe that down. Even though I used a funnel, I mean, you can tell. And any of that is going to lessen the chance of the jar sealing. We already know we checked for chips and cracks. So we just want a nice, good, clean around that seal. And these, when you get into your sauces like this, chili, stuff like that, it's a little bit more of that wipe down. It's not the same when you do like potatoes and water and stuff. And you just want to be able to wipe that around and then see that it's clean. So we got that now. I'm going to go ahead, get a lid, and we just want to finger tight these. Just finger tight, hand tight. You don't have to crank on it, just like that. You have to check out a video on why do you think my lids are buckling, or why are my lids buckling in the pressure canner, and that'll explain why that is so important with a little bit more detail. So here's the first one. We're just going to get that in there. Little thing about this here is your canner should come with 2 of these. Always put one in the bottom. Quarts, you don't need the second one if you're doing pints. Once you get your pints in there, you can actually put this on top, and you're able to stack another row of pints. You don't need any more water for that. It's just you're able to get more in there. Quarts, you can't. If you do quarts, you can't put a pint on top of there. If you're doing quarts, you don't need that one. I just want to point out, always have that down there. I've always recommended about 2 inches of water down there. This is a little bit thicker. Chili, spaghetti sauce, anything thicker you do, I would put maybe another inch of water in there. It just seems to help. But I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this, get this canner loaded, and then I'll be back with you to tell you the next step. So, earlier I mentioned something about these jars being different. The other ones are a little bit more square. These are rounded. On my comfortability level, I don't know if I'll even get this one. I've got 5 quarts in there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a really tight fit for 7. Makes me just a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm just going to try to get the 6th one done. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get that in there. I'm going to the next step. I'm just getting the air bubbles out. I got my bay leaf in the bottom. You know, this is going to be one of those touchy things that I'm nervous. It happens. Jar can bust in there. It does. Sometimes you can do everything right and, you know, still something happens. So, just cleaning that rim off. For a nice clean. There we go. Go ahead, I'm just turning this off because I'm not going to be using that 7th lid on this one. I'll have to do another batch. Be careful. I will show you this now, and this has happened. You start canning late at night, or you've been canning all day, you can get 2 lids stuck together. Whew. Be careful, it has happened. Why didn't this one seal? And you take it apart, you got 2 lids on there. So we're just doing hand tight. See if I can get this one in here. I might have to do a little bit of moving around, and the reason behind that is like I can tell right now they're kind of touching. I'm just spread them out a little bit. We don't want them banging up against the side. We don't want them banging up against each other. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of moving around here, and I think we are gonna keep this as 6 quarts, and I'll just have to finish up the rest of it later. This is gonna make me a little nervous when I take the lid off. I think we got it. I think we got it. So our next step now is we're just gonna go ahead and put the lid on. I know a lot of the pressure canners can be different. Mine actually lines up here. We're gonna go ahead and shut that. We're gonna keep this up here. We're trying to build a good vent, a good steam. You're gonna get a little excited. You're gonna feel a little steam. You're gonna feel a little bit of something. You're gonna think you're about there. You see it sputtering. It's got to be a good steam, a really good steam. And once that starts steaming really good, I will get back to you and I'll kind of show you what I mean on that. During this process, though, this is not gonna move, so don't worry. You're not doing anything wrong. That's not gonna go up. Not until we get to the point where we get to add the weight. So right now, we're just getting to a good steam, or as they call it, a vent. And I will catch up with you at that point and show you what that looks like. So this would be a good vent. I know I can see it really good here in person. I hope you can kind of see that steam coming. This is a good vent. So now that the steam's going and we're venting, I'm gonna set my timer for 10 minutes. You wanna let this vent like this for 10 minutes before we do any other steps. And like I said, this is not gonna move. This shouldn't be moving until we get to the part with the weight, which is coming up. Hang in there, and I'm gonna start my timer. We've been venting now for 10 minutes. A nice, good vent going on here. I know it's probably a little harder for you to see, but we've been venting really good for 10 minutes. So the next step's gonna be the weight. I'm on a lower elevation. I'm not in the mountains or anything. So you're gonna get a piece like this, which is 5 pounds, and then you got 2 rings, and each ring is 5 pounds. You only need 10 pounds on the lower elevations. I'm not exactly sure where it starts, where you need that second ring on there. So definitely, depending on where you live, you might want to research that. Right here, we only need 10 pounds. So I've got the actual weight, and then the ring on there. So we're gonna go ahead, and all you have to do is set it right on top. This is where you're gonna start seeing the pressure build up. We need to get to at least, at this elevation, need to get to at least 10 pounds. Once we hit that 10 pounds, or get close to it, I'll check in with you and let you know the rest of the processing. We are coming up on that magical 10 pounds. As you can see here, we're getting close. And pretty soon you're gonna start hearing a little bit of noise from here, and that just means we're hitting that. You watch that. And here you go. And that's our 10 pounds. I'm doing quarts, so I'm gonna do these for 40 minutes. I guess I have to check back to see what you do for pints. I don't do pints a lot in the spaghetti sauce to do quarts. But we're gonna wanna process this for 40 minutes at 10 pounds. And just like I said earlier, this is gonna depend on what was in your sauce. In my sauce, we had green peppers, onions, tomatoes, and some seasonings in there. If you're gonna add meat, or if you're gonna add mushrooms or anything else, you're gonna wanna research that. The timing is definitely gonna wanna be a lot longer than the 40 minutes. But anyway, we're at 10 pounds. I'm gonna start my countdown for 40 minutes. I'm gonna let this get up just a little bit here because we can't leave this on high. Eventually, if you do that, it could hit this caution area. It's gonna blow the safety plug back there, and then we have to start all over. It's gotta stay at that 10 pounds for that 40 minutes. So you're gonna wanna adjust it down. But in the same sense, you don't wanna just drop it down, because if we drop under that 10 pounds, we also have to start all over again. So I like to kind of get it a little bit in between when I start adjusting, because if I turn it down and it starts to drop, I have time to get that, to turn it up and get it back adjusted so I'm staying over that 10 pounds. So right now, like I said, I got quarts in there. We've reached our 10 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer for 40 minutes, and I'll catch up in a bit. It's been 40 minutes at our pressure. And this is like, yoo-hoo, home run, we got it, we're done. Not quite yet. Now, after our pressure time, 40 minutes, we've got to turn this off. And this is long. Not long, but I mean, it feels long. Just, you want to open your canner, you want to see if everything's still in there, if you want to make sure nothing cracked or broke or anything like that. Just so excited to see what happened. Yeah, turn that off. And now, you cannot remove the weight. You gotta let that go all the way down to 0 pressure. And this takes a little bit of time. At this point now, if you got something else that you need to do, where you don't have to listen to the jiggle of this, you can go ahead and do it. This is just got to get down to 0 pressure, and then I'll show you the next step. Hang in there. In the last step, we did our 40 minutes for quarts. We went ahead and turned that off, and we were waiting for this to get down to 0 pressure. You can see that's down to 0 pressure now. So this is the time you can go ahead and remove your weight. I'll let you know now it's going to make a little bit of a sound. It's okay. Move the weight. We wait 5 minutes before the next step. See you then. It's been the 5 minutes. Now we can go ahead and remove the lid. And I will tell you right now, I'm a little nervous about this. These jars, I'm used to working kind of with like a square jar, so I know how to move them around in there. I get 7 quarts in there. These are kind of bigger, round, still quarts, but round, a little bit short of a round. I put 6 in there, kind of heard them rattling around a bit. A little nervous, but this is the time we can take the lid off. So we're just going to slide it to the open position. Now when we go to lift this, we're going to want to lift away, like we want the steam to come out the back end. Just like anytime you open a lid or whatever, you don't want the steam, not this kind of steam bath anyway. So I'm going to go ahead. See how it's steam coming out? Well, they didn't shatter, and I don't see buckles, so oh my gosh, step 1. I am a little excited about that one. I was nervous. They were close. I don't like to have them close like that.
Oh, you got, on the back left side there, you got spaghetti sauce coming out.
Oh no, it'll do that.
Oh, okay.
It'll do that.
Okay, it's all
you do the
Yep.
Okay. It'll do that stuff. It'll come out a little bit. We're looking for shatters because if a jar shatters, none of these are sealed yet. They'll seal with the process as we take them out or whatever. They'll start to seal eventually.
Like, hey, Scoob, I thought the food is supposed to stay in the jar.
But this is just that pressure part of it. So that does happen. Some of these thicker foods or whatever. So that's okay. You might see some not seal for that, but we still got good spaghetti sauce. Anyway, now we have to wait 10 minutes before we can remove these jars. So I'll catch up with you in 10 minutes. I'll finish up a couple of hints and tricks, a couple little helpful things. Hopefully these seal. I know that I have more over there that I need to do. Not sure if I'll get to that tonight. I actually have to work in the morning, but hopefully that'll come to an end soon. But we're getting a little bit late here, and all I'd have to do is just let that sauce cool down that I didn't can, throw it in the fridge, and then at that point it's already heated, or it's already been cooked, ready to go. We just kind of heat it a little bit in a pan just so it's nice and simmering again, and I can finish this up tomorrow. No big deal. I am just so happy they didn't shatter. It happens, and I've been lucky enough that it hasn't yet this year, and I'll catch up with you in probably about 9 minutes now.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Good job. One thing. Up northern Minnesota up here, our redneck French Canadians, instead of swearing, we call that a pot licker. So is that my job right down there?
You're a pot licker?
I gotta go pot licking. I'll let it cool down a little bit first.
If that's what you really want to... I mean, I got homemade spaghetti sauce there, but...
In the jar?
In the jar.
Well, I'm going to order blocks.
But if you want to lick the rim, go right ahead.
Okay. If they'd have cracked you, you said pot liquor?
No! Then there's glass shards, hon. I love you too much for that.
All right.
At least right now I do. Catch up with you in a few.
Because I'm pot licking. That's my version of doing dishes. I didn't get caught pot licking.
10 minutes has gone by. We're going to go ahead and we can now remove these jars. You don't want to do that before there. In all honesty, I'm going to have hints and tricks, tips on certain things, but you really want to follow them guidelines. It is safety precautions on a lot of levels. You can read a book or you can see it in person, and I hope I'm helping someone out there. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and remove these jars now. And if you watch any of my other videos, you can probably tell right now, these jars are a little bit tighter, a little bit closer.
Yeah, jokes aside, you gotta, if you remove that lid, you gotta let those sit, at least 10 minutes, Joe, right?
Yeah.
They
and the one that you thought wasn't going to seal actually already sealed.
Yeah.
So it can do that. Don't get discouraged. They can still seal. it lessens the chances. It does happen with the pressure building up in there. Not a big deal. If this wouldn't seal, you give it a few hours, throw her in the fridge, and I guess you're eating spaghetti. It happens. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and sometimes we've got, it's been like, boy, I haven't done this in a year, or boy, it's been a while. I still call my mom. My mom is the whole reason why I do this. She's taught me everything. And I still have to refer to her like, I know the book says this, but this is what really works. It's just silly stuff. Like if you look at my canning white potatoes video, you don't have to cook them till they're fork tender. They will get fork tender in there. You just got to get them hot. Just silly little things like that. So every once in a while, it's like someone who's done this for, 40 years. Yeah, I refer to them. I want to carry that legacy on. I want to help. I'm pleased. The one that we were afraid of did seal. We got 5 more. If they don't seal, I guess we're eating spaghetti for a couple weeks, but that's okay too. Oop! I just heard another one. I don't know if that caught, but I heard it.
Yeah, another one popped.
And goes that one right there. Here's the big thing. Do not be discouraged. You go to can something, they don't seal. You go to can something, the jar shatters, you got to throw it all out. It does happen. Do not be discouraged. If this is really something you want to learn, really something you want to do, hang in there and keep persevering, keep pushing. I remember the first time I did elderberry juice, and I'm going to have some of that coming up too. It's almost why to this day I'd rather pressure can than water bath. I water bath elderberry juice, and one of them shattered in there, and I had to throw it all out. And at that time, oh my gosh, elderberry juice was through the roof. You couldn't get any. You couldn't get elderberries. I mean, that's $20 a pint back then, and here's 8 of them, and one of them shattered, and I had to toss them all. And it is very disheartening, and it sucks. Do not give up. I kept pushing. I keep doing this. It does happen once in a while, but I keep doing it. And really, at the end of the day, right now, you buy a cheap little sugary can of spaghetti sauce, way smaller than this, for $2. And you don't even know what's in there.
And look at that.
You can't even see, you can't even pronounce half the stuff that's in there. You don't know what half the stuff's in there. I know everything that's in these jars. To me, that's worth it. The only thing that was kind of a letdown this year is I was really hoping we'd be able to get tomatoes. If you, we tried. We had great little starter plants we did in like overnight. We're not sure what happened. So I'm hoping next year I'll actually have tomatoes that we grow ourselves along with green beans. Mm-hmm. And the tomatoes, I got the setup. It's cheap. It's easy to do your own tomato sauce. Tomato paste, you're better off buying that. You'd have to have acres and acres of tomatoes to do tomato paste. It would take you a long time. That's what you want to do, go for it. Me, I'll actually just buy that. But I'm pleased with how this is turning out. I know I've already had a couple seal. A couple little quick. I know I got a little, I pulled a mic and I got a little bit off track. Do not retighten these bands. Do not touch these bands. Once they go in the canner, don't touch them. 12 hours. In 12 hours, you can go ahead and take the bands off. They have 12 hours to seal. If it's getting late at night, I'll let them sit all night. But some of them, you're going to know before then. I usually know within a couple hours if they're going to seal or not. If they don't, and they get to be like, these are real hot right now, but they cool down enough, I just stick them in the fridge and you just eat it up. It's not a big deal. You kind of learn as you go. I still screw up sometimes. Check out why are my lids buckling. I did figure it out, but it happens. Yep. Do not give up. Yep. Believe in yourself. This. I mean, if this is really what you're into, this is the way. I'd love to bring more of this to you. If you have anything else you'd like me to see do, put it out there. Maybe I've done it before. Maybe I can answer questions on it. Maybe I can tell you can't do it. Maybe I'm like, I've never tried that. I'm going to try it, make a video out of it just for you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I can't wait till our next adventure.
So the moral of the story, Joe, is it's homesteading. Enjoy the adventure. And, don't get discouraged. If you break your eggs, you can still make lemonade.